This video contains all the ingredients needed for a perfect storm, but let's start from the beginning. Ben's wife had parked their Model X in Barrie, Ontario, Canada. She was safely inside a store at the time, but the cameras on their parked Tesla captured some destruction. People were walking around the parking lot and shopping, but the first sign of trouble was rain starting to pick up. Next, the electricity went out, and seconds later, the wind picked up. The wind got so strong that small objects started flying around in the parking lot. Eventually, bigger and bigger objects were being picked up and carried around the lot. Look at this guy rushing to his car for safety. Luckily, he managed to get inside just as a tornado touched down. The tornado was so strong that it was moving cars in the parking lot and objects were flying everywhere.
Wham bam! Rock you like a hurricane. Are you ready, man? Teslacam! I hope you were satisfied.
The tornado that tore through Barrie that day left a path of destruction over 3 miles long and up to 300 feet wide. The Canadian Federal Weather Agency rated the tornado EF2, with wind speeds reaching up to 130 miles per hour. The city of Barrie said that 10 people were hospitalized, but miraculously, none of them suffered life-threatening injuries. When Ben sent us the video, he hadn't yet reached out to his insurance provider since there were so many other things in the community that needed to be fixed, but it's next on his to-do list. Debris struck basically all over the car, leaving plenty of scratches and dents. Even the rims were damaged. Ben is confident the insurance claim process will go smoothly. Remember the video where Wham Bam had some trouble with an animal stealing his garbage? Well, it looks like Joshua found someone experiencing an even bigger problem. He was driving through residential streets in Arcadia, California when he saw a bear digging through trash cans. The bear didn't seem bothered at all by Joshua's Tesla, and it might have even appreciated the car's headlights lighting up the trash bins for him. I think you can stop complaining about your little trash monster, Wham Bam. Yao had left his Model 3 parked in Suzhou, China. When he returned to his car, he noticed a new dent and that his rear wheel was all wet. When he checked the new Sentry Mode footage, he discovered that the driver of the car parked next to him had swung the door open, causing it to hit Yao's Tesla. The door then shut, but then another guy did the exact same thing. Where did he even come from? They walked away, but after a few seconds, one of the guys came back and relieved himself on Yao's car. This has to be one of the strangest Sentry Mode events we've seen so far. What is going on? This isn't the only strange Sentry Mode story Yao sent us. He also sent us this one. He'd parked in a garage where a security guard from the local Workers' Cultural Palace expressed curiosity about his Tesla, giving it a thorough inspection. He even tried to pull on the door handle. At first, Yao thought it looked like he was interested in the design. But then he kept trying to get the door open, so much so that Yao was a little uneasy that a security guard was trying so hard to get into his car. He decided to report the situation to the security company, and a few days later, he got a response stating that the security guard had been fired. That seems a little bit harsh, but what do you think? Leave a comment and tell us if you think firing the security guard was the right call. Alex had almost disabled Sentry Mode while he was home since the neighbors across the street have Christmas lights, which cause Sentry Mode to activate around 400 times per night. However, this night he decided to leave it on, and he's sure glad he did. A man came walking down the alley and right up to his Tesla. He tried the door handle, and that's when the lights flashed, scaring him off. Alex adds that he will never turn off Sentry Mode after seeing this. This emitter was driving his Model 3 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada when they were hit on the right side by a driver that didn't check their blind spot before changing lanes. They stopped and exchanged insurance information, and now they're waiting on a quote for the repairs. This emitter asked to be named the BMW hater, so we're guessing he doesn't like BMWs. As the BMW hater was driving his Model Y in New Jersey, a BMW overtook him, hydroplaned, lost control, and spun out right in front of him. Alex was driving his Model 3 in Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, when he witnessed something rather special. He stopped for a turtle that was using a crosswalk. I was gonna make a joke here about how slow the turtle was, but come on! How cute is it that it's using the crosswalk?
A few moments later.
Dom was driving his Model 3 to a meeting in Burnley, England, when an Audi driver started to brake check a truck. The Audi driver then kept the truck from overtaking him, almost pushing him off the road. Dom isn't sure why the Audi driver did this. All he can think of is that the truck might have cut off the Audi to avoid a lane closure earlier on. Angel was driving her Model 3 in Chicago, Illinois, when a driver in front of her put the pedal to the metal. We're not sure if we'd give that drift any style points, though. A car zoomed past Carlos, cutting through traffic at high speed. A few miles down the road, both the driver and a passenger jumped out and abandoned the car. The driver apparently dropped his phone while attempting to run away and nearly became a Darwin Award recipient when he was almost hit by a car. Carlos contacted law enforcement, and a dispatcher said they'd already received multiple calls and were investigating. Kev was driving on Highway 401 in his 1-month-old Model S when the traffic building up came to a full stop. The driver behind him was driving distracted and couldn't stop in time. Kev stood on his brakes for dear life to avoid being pushed into the car in front of him, which paid off. Kev filed a police report and an insurance claim within the hour. Insurance determined that the other driver was fully at fault. Matt was driving his Model 3 in Spokane, Washington, when traffic started slowing to a stop due to road construction. In his rearview mirror, Matt saw that the car behind him wasn't slowing down, so he stepped on the juice pedal just enough to keep from being rear-ended. The car came flying up behind him with tires screeching. Moving up to avoid being hit while also not hitting the car in front of him was a tight squeeze. Nice move, Matt. Tommy was parked in downtown Trois-Rivières, Quebec, Canada, sorry for butchering that, I don't speak French, to eat at a restaurant with his brother and his friends when some guy hit his door before leaning on his car. Next, the guy started punching a sign for no reason. Tommy doesn't know what was happening, but he suspects the guy was under the influence of something. Tommy was proud to buy his first electric car at 20 years old, and he's sad to see so many people being careless around other people's hard-earned property. Joe was driving his Model 3 when an oncoming Audi driver was passing a couple of other cars illegally. The Audi crossed into his lane, which forced him to swerve out of the way. Jeremy was stopped on an exit ramp that always backs up during rush hour. A distracted driver took the ramp too quickly and almost rear-ended his 2-month-old Model 3. The other driver did manage to swerve at the last second. Jeremy says the exit ramp splits into 2 lanes up ahead, which explains what the second car is doing. All Jeremy heard was screeching tires before the car flew by him just inches away. Sergey was driving his Model 3 at a racetrack in Moscow, Russia, when Sentry Mode caught a drifting Porsche that was a little too close for comfort. Unfortunately, we only have this screen recording, but check out that left repeater camera. Now that was a close call. Speaking of close calls, Rick was driving home from a farmer's market when a white Mercedes-Benz nearly hit a dump truck before engaging in some high-speed off-roading in the ditch. Watch what happened when Derek was driving home from the grocery store. He has no idea who this guy was or what he was doing, but he gave Derek a wave as he got back into the correct lane. Derek says he loves the Wham Bam channel and asks us to keep it up with the great content. He also said he works for Tesla. That's pretty cool. Wait a second, I think I know what his name means, but let me Google it really quickly. The people ruler. Elon? Is that you?